Hello, everyone. I just want to take a quick second to explain in my own words and perspective the ADOS or DOS or Native Black movement here in the United States in regards to its legal and political intention. ADOS, the acronym standing for American Descendants of Slaves, is a term describing specifically Black people whose lineage goes directly back to peoples who were brought here as chattel slaves to the United States of America, or what would become the United States of America. Hence the word American at the beginning. These people are a specific subset of the African diaspora, and they make up the majority, but not all, present-day Black Americans. Antonio Moore of ToneTalks and Yvette Carnell of Breaking Brown created the ADOS term to push forward a discussion on lineage of Blacks in America. Many people are quick to jump up in response, full-throated, rebuffing such a delineation as being divisive, antagonistic, and unnecessary. But they're wrong. It actually is necessary, and I'll tell you why. But first, let me make it clear. This definition or classification in and of itself is not intended to grade or otherwise define Blackness in America. This is about lineage, not race or skin tone, and not a lot of this other stuff that people have been saying it's about. So sit those things aside for a moment. So the true undergirding driver for this term and discussion on lineage is important to understand and is actually pretty straightforward. As part of a growing body of work to substantiate, architect, and implement transformative socioeconomic politics for those affected by American chattel slavery, Yvette and Antonio recognized the need to more precisely identify this group of people who are directly impacted by it because they descend from it. We are not talking about people hit by collateral damage right now. We're talking about the direct targets that were and are impacted with the tax of legacy, lineage, and hand-me-down traumas created or fostered by the American government and that have kept generations of ADOS families in the social, economic, and political slums, or in other words, a bottom class. This particular group needs a way to be precisely identified going forward in their movement towards reconciliation and reparations with this country. Almost like you'd have any specific criteria for identifying people who are part of a class action lawsuit, a definition needed to be created to identify the plaintiffs. These are the people who carry the direct burden of everything from American slavery through Jim Crow, redlining, mass incarceration, and even more pervasive and subtle forms of present-day oppression that can be disguised in a myriad ways, including subprime loans directed at certain communities and police brutality. All these things were enacted and carried out explicitly or implicitly to deny the full rights of citizenship to Black people who came from American chattel slavery. That was and still is the intention. These tactics still have piled up to create literally a second class of living for many Blacks in this country that even the UN in some cases has dared to call it living third world in a first world country. The government needs to explicitly understand who these people are in the context of the discussion that needs to happen going forward. Now, with all that being said, this term is not to indicate that Black immigrants who have moved to this country have not experienced any of the oppressions that we have as an ADOS people. We'll have a conversation going into detail about that a little more later, but to keep it clear, this is simply a definition critical to the policy conversations going forward. Now, to wrap it up for my contemporary millennial colleagues, I want you guys to understand that this is not any intent to define Blackness in America. This is not an attempt to discredit or disarm or undermine the specific claims or status of any other group in America, Black or not. This term is not meant to put down anyone or discredit their right to be in this country or to make their own claims against oppressions they have faced. This is a specific political movement for a specific subgroup of people. We appreciate the support. We welcome constructive criticism, and dialogue is encouraged. But if you don't know, then ask, Google, watch videos on Yvette and Antonio's pages. And before you speak, if you don't know, ask. And when you do speak, let's try to keep it objective to the facts and the data. And we can keep it on a narrow road to constructive dialogue, constructive engagement, and we can avoid any unnecessary emotional misunderstandings in the process of having this discussion. So I'm Vel. Look forward to talking to you again.